Hi, good morning. Today is April 15th. On your screen, Vicky LeBlanc here to provide an explanation for my lifespan within these few months. And it all accumulates to one thing, that I've neglected some very important people in my life. And some approaches that I've taken towards my mother. I think I can pose that as a secondary because when we are in a supportive relationship, it's healthy to serve until a certain point. So there's a cycle. And I introduce that to you because those circumstances are happening in a certain sphere. We will continually ask ourselves as individual why, the question why. So I've been back on Facebook, and I've now come to realize I have a massive amount of people that are near my heart, and I am partly responsible, wholly responsible for not keeping in touch as I should, because I get in a zone where I am completely committed to a work, and I put off communication, and I put it off and set a certain month from now, a time from now. And just simply seeing the pictures and connecting to the warmth of the relationships that I've let become sort of spoiled or distant. It's pleasing. So. And that part, you'll I hope you will take the lesson, mentioning that, I hope you can take the lesson of staying connected. I have some very important people in my life, very sustainable people, very important, very meaningful, dignitary. Maybe that's not the best description, but I'm still trying to shuffle through a series of words and language to describe the presence of the people in my life. So I will in a few minutes give you a brief summary, short down of some things that have happened in a few months. And I'm reminded of my cousin Maydeen. We have certain tight spots or cycles that one would ask why we're striving for a certain ability. We're always at the same time. And it's not limited to her, but she comes to mind right now that I can hear her voicing in the back of my mind. Okay, so okay, before I continue, I just want to make it clear that a few things exist. Social media plays a role, an important role. Not being able to connect in the past few months because of some interference and all of these new introductions. If you haven't heard, police taps and police interfere. Police have the ability to tape your abuser secretly and use that information in court. Where does that fall in line with Miranda rights? I don't know. Where that falls in line with evidence, I don't know. I know that's a thin line. It may help someone survive, but then we have to look at the disappointing area of people, kids, or someone who just wants to run away. So we need a lot of honest people on the bench making constructive decisions. when approving these bills and laws, because it can be, we already have Facebook. Once you commit to their service, they have the freedom to plug into your home, because the device, you've agreed for them to go through your camera, and the speaker is a recording information. That's something in the agree in the small print. So you have Facebook doing that, and you have all these other people doing this type of connecting, and that's where the line gets unclear, uncertain. So I vouch for social media having a present in existence. Recordings that are invasive, I don't agree with. There must be some rationale, but I will never be able to agree with that to that extent. So I say that to say, so I thank you for the presence of social media. So in my future decisions and future actions, my goal will never be to remove social media breakdown, because that's the time that we're living in. Okay, so I'm thankful that all my family members, I have a lot of family, and then again, I'll just have to clarify that if I was in connection with my family the way I should have been, I wouldn't have experienced the degree of assault that I did and that I've recently experienced. So this is a lesson learned, and I think that I'm an epitome of a lesson, a book. Yeah. So one may see me and may think that I have a striking look, but my story is a striking heart, and I'm very self-aware. So being psychotic is not psychotic, bipolar, any mental. For those who have it, their mental hygiene, I remedies for them, but that's not my story. So I want it to be known that even though with everything coming towards me, I'm glad that my cerebellum is still intact. The mental compartments are still functioning and flowing as they should. So I'm able to stand firm and attack a goal and a plan. The latest events that push me to see that I have some work to do. I have some mending of relationships to do. I'll go back. It's an altercation dispute with my mother and I, and she has different religion practices. I'm a Christian, for anyone that doesn't know. That's just a faulty person who depends on God. So take that as you wish. And I was in the process of taking my son outside for playtime. He decided to go to the neighbors. I came back into the home to pick him up and go back outside for, to run an errand. And I noticed my mom was, into certain activity that I didn't agree or approve of. So I cannot say direct her path or her life, but I can intervene with my son. So I asked him to stay in the room with me, to go take a shower, come in the room with me. As a matter of fact, let's just read some supportive sentences, word measures from the Bible. And he said no. He said no very firmly, very rudely, and decided to run out the room. I'll pause right there. As my son, again, diplomacy is approved by myself in our relationship, but he doesn't have the right to tell me no and run away and think it's okay. So anyway, from that, centripetal force or velocity just supported a myriad of explosions in the home. And my mother came out. She became very loud and very aggressive, and locked the door and became very dominant with my son's response and wanted to support him. So then the two of them now are deciding to come against my parental role. In that, I went through a bout of rage. I actually attempted to slam the door down, break the door down, and have it be known that this is it. My son is going on 10. I'm 36. As my mother, I respect you. And from the Caribbean, parents we're rough, we're struck, we're rough, and I insert these descriptions and characteristics and traits so that whomever my audience may learn something from my history, my background, as well as what I'm trying to offer them in creating some social climate or environment in their business, or in catering to a people group in whom they wish to attract, such as Hillary Clinton, because she has targeted Haiti as her support system to gain votes and women. So I suspect that when listening to these type of things, people who were not fluent in the social climate in certain nations use them to brand themselves or to learn more about themselves. And also Mr. Clinton has a heavy presence in that zone as well. So that's just an example how this can be relevant to somewhere else, and why I take the time out to dissect certain things. Now, that was the last thing for me to be in such a zone, because I'm not violent and aggressive. I believe in discussion and parables and communication. But then I want to say that was and if you've heard me say before, there are steps that lead up to